If you go on any group rides or you want to start doing group rides, you need to watch this video. This is going to help you out on maybe some of your fears, or it might prevent a crash for you or your friend. With that said, let's go ahead and check it out and try our best not to do this ourselves. All right, so you probably heard the skidding, you probably heard all that stuff, and the original video will be linked in the description. But this is a great opportunity to learn from their mistakes, and hopefully we don't do this ourselves. So let's make sure this is a positive environment and positive thinking right now. So moving forward a little bit, we're coming up to a stop sign. You see the indicator right there, and then you also see the guy with the Shoei helmet. Very nice, I love it. And, you know, it's a good helmet. I have Shoei. Anyways, moving on, we're gonna go ahead and go forward a little bit more, go forward a little bit more. The person with the camera, with the 360 camera, good view, good angles, and this is what I really love about this video, is you can see quite a bit. So now we have the other motorcycle rider. So this is probably the person up front. So it almost looks like they're staggered. So the guy with the camera, it's off to the side. The person behind that's going to actually impact is, you know, in the same lane position as the person up front, and we're kind of staggered. So very good on the staggering. And if you don't know what that means, it means that you're going to have a good following distance from the person in front, but you also are going to have a following distance to the person to the side, so you're not in blind spots. So if anybody has to swerve, they're not going to hit you, and if you have to swerve, you're not going to hit anybody else. So that's why it's very important not to ride side by side, but to ride staggered. Okay, in the mountains and stuff, you kind of want to do single file, but you have a good space cushion, so you have your own lines and all these different things. So that's a whole different concept. We're focusing on this right here, this commuting area. So we're gonna move forward a little bit, and there's gonna be the impact right there. Okay, so nice slow motion for me. So we're gonna go ahead and scroll back a little bit. Now, why do you think this person right here ran into the back of the other vehicle? Well, right now you can see that they're looking at the vehicle right there. They're looking at the roundabout, the intersection. So they're actually hyper aware, and that's really good. They're in orange stage, and that's where you want to be. But remember, we're in a group ride, so technically there's other vehicles near us that, you know, if you ever watch any of the live streams or any of these videos, these after action reviews, I don't like being around other vehicles. I don't want to. I want a bubble. I don't want just in front of me. I want everywhere. So I actually don't like doing really big group rides because of that. So what I want you to do when you go out and group ride is definitely treat the other riders as other cars. Sometimes they see you, sometimes they don't. You still got to be very careful and ride your own ride. So when you go into a group ride like this person right here should be riding their own ride. The person that's about to impact should be riding their own ride. So what does that mean? That means you need to find your own escape paths. You need to find your own space cushions, and then you also need to pay attention for everything. So don't rely on the person in front of you. Okay, the person in front of me went through the intersection, I'm going to be fine. The person in front of me made the corner, I'm going to be fine. The person in front of me is in this lane position, I will stay in this lane position. Oh, they went off the road, okay, I'll go off the road. We've seen that, okay? So this is why I say ride your own ride. So in this area, find your own escape paths with these vehicles around you, the motorcycles. Have a good space cushion around you and in front of you. And then also make sure you understand your total stopping distance. And that's going to be the biggest problem here, is that we're not going to understand our own total stopping distance and paying attention, okay? So let's go ahead and scroll back a little bit more. So when I said, you know, what is going on here? What are they looking at? What are they doing? Okay, so the person is looking to the left at the car. Good. Orange stage, figured out, ready to act if there's anything in there. But we're not paying attention to what's in front. So we're looking there, we're assuming that person in front went going, we're gonna get going, and that's not what happened. So about right here is when we perceived, hey, I have to stop. There's somebody in front of me, okay? Now, is this right here enough total stopping distance? Okay, total stopping distance, it's an equation basically, and what happens is you have your perception, so you perceive that you have to stop. You're reacting by reaching for the front brakes and getting ready to stop, and rear brakes. And then your braking distance, so the moment you start squeezing those brakes until you stop is your braking distance. Add all three equals total stopping distance. Perception is roughly about a second, reaction is roughly about a second, and then your braking distance is all dependent on your speed. So you need 2 seconds basically to be able to do this. More and more, and the better you get, you can probably knock it down to 1 second for both of them. But right here is when we perceive, and then right there is when we react. You see the front tire dive, you see the whole body, everything dive forward, That's because we applied a lot of brake pressure, but we also applied it progressively. That's why the bike didn't dump right here. So progressive brake pressure, you're gonna squeeze, 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 squeeze. Weight's gonna transfer, transfer, transfer. Since the weight's transferring on that front tire, it's gonna more friction, friction, friction. More friction equals more traction, traction, traction. And then hopefully you'll be able to stop, okay? So, but you still need total braking distance, total stopping distance. There's not enough right here. So we're gonna try. And right here, it's like, oh man, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna go ahead and just dump in the rest, okay? Maybe I did 40, 50, 60, screw it, 100%. And then right here is that 100%. We just couldn't do it. And we didn't have enough friction, enough traction to actually stop. And that's why that tire is starting to slip and fall out. And you heard it in the original video of it squealing. That's it locking up and then going a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and start to dump the bike before we even touch the person. This is what it looks like. So when you see people panic brake, they dump it before they even touch the person they might be impacting. But they did impact a little bit, but the bikes fell down before the impact, and there's the impact. So that is what I believe happened, and I think a lot of the other factors involved. It could be, I don't know, maybe it's at the end of the ride and they're a little bit tired. The low visibility because of, you know, it looks like it's at night or getting close to night at dusk. And then we have an intersection, we have a group ride. Maybe we're all mentally tired. So at the end of the day, it's no real fault. I'm just really happy nobody got severely injured. But part of this is if something did happen that was worse, make sure you're wearing full gear, okay? So make sure you have good pants, good jacket, good helmet, gloves, boots, everything, just in case something bad happened. And then also think about getting stuff for your bike just in case something bad happened. So if your bike fell down, hopefully the sliders or a crash guard caught it, so you're not replacing your very expensive fairings. You can maybe replace that, or you maybe don't even have to replace the slider. It's still good. So that's why we need to start mitigating as much as possible. But good job on this. You know, it was just a normal issue. It just kind of, whoopsie daisy. And we're going to laugh about it. And it's like, you okay? You okay? Okay, all fun. All right, let's keep going. And maybe double check our tires, double check our rim, double check all these different things on the side of the road. Are we good? We good? Let's head out. I'm glad everybody's doing fine. So that's what I kind of wanted to focus on. Let's do some positive stuff and make sure we're being super safe when we're out riding. But with that said, hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.